investment, productive investment, inclusive investment, investment that generates high returns, that allows you to pay back debt. Anything that promotes investment, public and private investment, is what is needed. Let's not forget that. For me, a key thing I've noticed over the years is ambition. And it's difficult to measure that, but I worked in Vietnam and I saw structural transformation like for 3 or 4 years. And what was driving that was a very clear ambition and commitment from government and from all actors to make that change possible. And I've been in other countries, and I won't mention which, where I've seen that lack of ambition. So I think this speaks to what the previous speaker was saying about the vision. You need an anchor that helps you guide you, a collective anchor that everybody recognizes that is where the country wants to go. And then you need marching orders to go in that direction. So that element of ambition, a real ambition for transformation, is, I think, is critical. That's what makes things happen, ultimately.
All right, and as Wadzanai gives her final response, the final question, you can prepare your questions. We'll just have one round of questions. Madam Wadzanai, policy missteps that need to be avoided as we move into 2025.
I think if we say we are doing something, let's stick to it. I think the issue of trust, I think constitutional lawyer Biti mentioned that if we don't build trust, in Shona we say, in fact in English we say once bitten, twice shy. I think people have lost value over time and continue to lose value. Certainly this year there was a loss of value when we were transitioning. We would see it from domestic savings, pensions, the stock market itself initially. Yes, it's corrected somewhat. If we don't address that, we have challenges into the future. So people will keep, trying to cushion themselves because you're being bent, so you have to correct yourself. So that would be my appeal to all stakeholders, whether you're in government or in private sector. Let's have Zimbabwe at heart. We are first and foremost Zimbabweans, and we must strive to make things work for us. My question to each one of us participating is, what will our generation be remembered for? What will Ambassador Mutsvangwa be remembered for? What will Chris Mdaga be remembered for? And what will Wadzanai be remembered for? And I think that should give us a lot of homework to say, when I served in government, when I served in private sector, when I served in the civic community, I played a part to build Zimbabwe. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Madam Wadzanai. We'll have one round of questions. Please be precise, straight to the point. We have already gone beyond our schedule. So sure, by raise of hand, introduce yourself and mention who your question is directed to, and then we can conclude for the day. Questions? The Honorable Minister has a question.
I don't know if it will come out as a question, but let me thank the panelists for a very robust. That's what they told me. They said there will be a robust session. Maybe that's what they meant. Critical issues were discussed. I really want to thank Rodriguez for how he looks at the informal sector and how it would be helpful really to break it down and separate different categories. Sure, it's not the homogeneous it's well noted. To my elders here and brothers, there was an interesting presentation by Professor Muriro. I'm not too sure if they were here. That we can choose to be negative or we can choose to be hopeful. Being negative will attract a lot of attention, sure, but being hopeful can build a nation. 2 examples, maybe I'll pick just one. Manise will be in its first production next year. And Ambassador Chris highlights some of the infrastructure that is coming. A realization mentioned by my brother Biti is that we are likely to be exporting this in its raw form. My point is that as Zimbabweans want to build, this is an interesting discussion to say, how can we maximize our benefit out of this development that is coming in? And I might highlight, and I extend an invitation to both of you. 12, 13 December, we have the entire iron steel industry in Kwekwe. We are coming up with an entire value chain. They will bring, I think, Malaysia will produce close to 600,000 tons next year. Our own absorption capacity does not go beyond 150 to 200,000. We can do a lot more around that to build our economy. I'm hoping the robustness as we go forward, we'll be looking at how these brilliant minds our country have can come together and build a stronger economy. I'm leaving, so I don't want them to respond to me. So I have to write something. But thank you so much for your capacity.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Any questions? Any other questions to ask the panelists? All right, maybe it's just fatigue. People are tired, I'm not sure. So I'll just then ask our panel to just give us their parting shots if there aren't any questions. I have so many questions, but again, it will take 2 more hours, so I'd rather not get into that. Because the question I would have loved to ask would be, there's been so much talk around what should come first, an export ban on raw minerals, whilst we set up smelting plants, or vice versa, we first set up, given the challenges that we have in terms of financial constraints, but maybe you could touch on that as you give your parting remarks. Yes, Mr. Rodriguez, since you have the mic.
I'll just keep it very short. I'm mindful that we are the only thing between the end of this and lunch. So just to thank, first of all, Sen and CC for organizing this very interesting, very vibrant, robust discussion that we've had. We're very happy to be part of this process, and we commit to continue providing that support. And then thank all the participants for staying here, for interacting with us. Thank you very much.
All right. Before Ambassador Mutsvangwa responds, I'll ask Madam Wadzanai to respond for obvious reasons, so that he'll respond at once, because I know he may want to then also respond to another response.
I think thank you, Zed and Sisi, for the opportunity. I think Zimbabweans, we've been resilient. Let's continue to be resilient and work towards building our country. It's not an easy terrain, and I think there's a lot of lessons that we drew from different speakers today. But I think let's all strive to leave a legacy beyond us. Thank you.
Mr. Kamungeremu.
Thank you very much. On the question of what comes first, I would like to refer to the Egyptian example, not specifically related to minerals, but to imports in general, because we may need to do that as a country. I think we're together with my brother there, James Chimazi. We were invited by the Egyptian government in 2022 to say, come. I think there were 33 of us, presidents of chambers of commerce. They were saying, come, we want you to see the kind of capacity that we have built. We know you are importing a lot from Europe. Please import from us, your brothers. They took time to build capacity. And they took us through the journey that they traveled. So they were even definite in terms of time frames. For example, we're told that the first program, they gave industries 6 months to organize themselves and make sure that certain listed products which were being consumed in government departments in the country were actually manufactured locally. When the 6 months lapsed, they actually banned them. And there were actually acute shortages after that. And what then followed was actually the birth of new industries. Because those that used to supply were forced to partner locals who were distributors. And they brought in equipment and started manufacturing in-house. It's an example of that. But as I conclude, there's the issue of energy, which was discussed earlier. I don't go into details on it, but I find myself in that particular industry. In my appeal to fellow business people that are here, an organized chief executive officer must actually have a plan for now to solve their power issues. And this is what we do every day. I know most people know me for stances. I'm with 10. We provide power solutions, not just the solar, because what you need is the right energy mix. But we actually provide the hybrid for you. It's part of business continuity. So that at least we save the remaining industries that are there. That's why I'm highlighting this point. So that note, let's get in touch, let's do business. Thank you very much.
I want to weigh in and take advantage of the presence of Deputy Minister Munangagwa. I want to say that the informal sector in Zimbabwe is too big. This report puts it at 67%. Informalization is never achieved by taxation. Formalization is actually achieved by capitalization of those small players. They need cheap money, but the problem is they don't have security. They don't have a track record that can persuade a bank like Stanbic or CPZ to actually lend them. But a government intervention can actually help. That's why many years ago we created a set called the Small Enterprises Development Corporation. And for a long time, Minister Stenson did a lot of work in ensuring access to capital. The other thing about formalization is, of course, registration. Hernando de Soto, a Chilean economist, has written this fantastic book called The Mystery of Capital, in which he explores the formalization through registration. But I think the one thing that government can do is over-reliance on indirect taxes and taxing the skin out of the informal trade. Regrettably, I think that's what you guys, with respect, have been doing. You can tax pizza. Who eats pizza? It's the man in iPhone, ordinary Africa. You can tax betting income. Who goes and places a bet on Chelsea versus Southampton? It's my small brother in Wadzanai who is unemployed. So if you have a government which is obsessed with taxation, the net result is deindustrialization. And we have seen massive deindustrialization in this country in the past few days. Big companies have left. I was reading the other day that Jobs has left Zimbabwe. Banks, Standard Chartered Bank has left Zimbabwe. Barclays Bank left Zimbabwe a few years ago. So these harsh taxation regimes have the net effect in industrializing our country and contributing to capital flight. I would suggest that you have empathy with the ordinary citizens. You said and pleaded that you come from a socialist party which believes in control regimes. Your party is not reflective of that. It lacks empathy. It's so cruel, when you have to take pizza and things like that. So I hope you can take my message forward. Thank you.
Hello, thank you very much. First, I would like to go to Chemistry 101. Chemistry 101 says steel is a beneficiated product. And all the countries which have made it in the world, they are admired for their steel industry. That's why you see all those cars outside. That's why you see all this building. To have a president who brings the largest steel plant to the rich resources of Zimbabwe. We have enough iron ore for 200 years. We have the best smoking coal in Africa. We have the largest chrome reserves, high quality, in the world. To bring capital of the scale and scope of a Fortune 500 number 239 company to build a steel plant which even no European country has had, it is a master stroke in the development of this country. And with due modesty, to take to Brazil, I can assure you in the next 5 to 10 years, we will be in the league of the top steel producers, among them in the whole world. This is what President Mnangagwa is taking us to. And with it comes the infrastructure, which requires the export of steel products. We only consume 2 to 3% of that steel. A lot of it will be processed in this country. As I talk, we are building sheds in Bali. I am talking to the German steel industry. I'm talking to the Chinese steel industry. I'm talking to the Japanese steel industry. We are going to develop a world-class steel fabrication sector at CSO in Bali in the next 24 to 36 months, if not less. This is, I'm doing it, I know what I'm doing. I'm not talking about moon from the stars. So if you want to be rich and you want to be successful business people, not pet traders, you position yourself to the way the country is going with steel. We are going to build a town of 150,000 people at Manise in the next 18 to 24 to 36 months. This is the scale of what is going on there. Already, I've seen South Africa is quaking under its feet about what's happening in Zimbabwe. These are world-class players who are knowing what Zimbabwe is going. If you can't set your mind to that, and you continue to hear all these despondent stories, you will be bypassed by trade. The trade will become a billionaire in the next 5 to 10 years. Don't listen to the gentleman on my left. Follow President Mnangagwa and be rich. That's it.
Thank you very much. I'm sure the panel has done extremely well in ensuring that all the issues were covered within an hour compared to the previous panel. Please put your hands together for this panel. Ambassador Christopher Mutsvangwa, Mr. Mike Kamungeremu, immediate past president of ZNCC, Mr. Alex Warren Rodriguez, senior economist, UNDP Zimbabwe, Honorable Tendai Biti, constitutional lawyer and retired politician, as well as Mrs. Wadzanai Phiri, CEO of Coronation Solutions Private Limited. We had hoped to be joined by Secretary of Energy and Power Development, Dr. Gloria Makombo. I'm sure she would have spoken authoritatively around the issues of energy and power supply, which have been center stage at this forum. I'll ask my panelists to take their seats. Oh, no. So please put your hands together for the thank you.
Thank you, Linda. Let's put our hands together for Linda. Thank you. At this point, let me invite our secretariats to just come and get over some presents to our panelists. While they're doing that, please can you play us First Capital commercial. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point, while they're preparing, I want to tell Mr. Kamungeremu something real. Mr. Kamungeremu, in 2018, cheapo. For the sake, some of us will not be there. In cheapo. Thank you. Okay. In terms of our presentation, we start with Ambassador Chris Mutsvangwa. Please, if you can let the President to come and help us. And we believe photos are our heritage. Let's put our hands together for Ambassador Mutsvangwa. So please take time to talk to him. He said, hey, I know what I am doing. Honorable Tendai Biti. And Mrs. Wadzanai Phiri. Alex Rodriguez. And Mr. Mike Kamungeremu. Maybe they can just stand for a group photo. Stand for a group photo. I think it will be interesting for now, Mr. Kamungeremu, you've done your part. So you see, the gentleman on the right and the gentleman on the left are together. I think they are planning when to visit Manise. Thank you very much, our panelists. Please take your seats.
What an afternoon. I'm sure we all agree we had very vibrant and energizing discussions today. And I'm sure we'll spread the word that the ZNCC is where things happen. In absentia, Honorable Mangaliso, Minister of Industry and Commerce, Honorable Dr. Muriro, Minister of Foreign Affairs and Trade, Deputy Minister of Finance and Economic Development, Ambassadors here present, the Chairman of COMESA, Mr. James Chimwaza, members of the Diplomatic Corps. As we close this insightful conference, themed Unlocking New Frontiers for Sustainable Industrialization and Climate Smart Growth, I stand before you inspired by the discussions held today, which showed a commitment to shaping Zimbabwe's industrial and economic future. From our deliberations on monetary and fiscal developments to the state of industry in Zimbabwe, it was clear that continued collaboration between government and the private sector is paramount to overcoming challenges and seizing emerging opportunities. Every challenge presents an opportunity. We should therefore look at both sides of any scenario that stretches us and capitalize on the positive aspects thereof. We explored strategies with Minister Muriro to increase foreign currency inflows, and he challenged us to have a mental chimurenga, a mindset revolution that should see us looking for the positives in whatever situations that we find ourselves in. Honorable Glovo challenged us not to be a source of raw materials for other nations, a backyard, so to speak, where they go and plug and the value add and then sell to us. The conversations that we had today have reinforced that sustainable economic growth is not a choice but a necessity, one that demands resilience and meaningful partnerships with enablers such as the government. Let me mention that government has always maintained an open door policy to private sector. We have a healthy and meaningful relationship. Where we differ, we agree to differ. Where we agree, we will agree. At this point, on behalf of the ZNCC, I would like to extend my deepest gratitude to the honorable ministers who attended the event today, and also to our distinguished panelists for their invaluable insights. Your expertise has enriched our understanding and will inspire new ways of thinking. I would like to thank our long-time and all-weather partners, Phiri and the UNDP, for their support in making the survey presented today possible. And I thank our sponsors for the event, the First Capital Bank, Delta Corporation, Coronation Solutions, and ZFN. I also thank another set of sponsors who sponsored the production of the survey report. Tendai Electronics, SmartVest Wealth Management, Earthlink Technologies, and STF Capital. I also would like to thank our media partners who are here today covering the event. And lastly, by no means the least, I'd like to thank our facilitators today, Andy and Linda. What a great job you have done today. And finally, the captain of the flight. It threatened to be a bit bumpy and turbulent towards the end, but I'm glad that it landed safely. I'd like to thank our Mr. Macheka for I'd like to thank you for handling this flight tactfully and getting it to land safely. Thank you so much. So at this juncture, okay, a round of applause for our panelists. At this point, I'd like to thank you all, the attendees. Without you, this conference would not have been possible. So thank you so much for taking the time to be here today. And I'd like to wish you all a pleasant afternoon further.
A big round of applause for our Deputy President, Mr. Speaker Kumba. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point, we have come to the end of our conference. What's left for me is just to wish you a Merry Christmas and a prosperous 2025. Prophetically, I can see that things are going to be okay in 2025. Things are bright in 2025. So may you please eat responsibly. SDG what? Even as we proceed to the restaurant, responsible consumption and responsible production. They've already produced it responsibly, but consume it responsibly by taking what you can finish. If you take whatever you take, make sure you finish. That's being responsible. And at this stage, I just want us to honor two people who are in our midst, who are going to leave first, even as we celebrate as they are going. Ambassador Mutsvangwa and Honorable Biti, please lead us to the restaurant. That's where my niece is.